Okay, it's the first weekend in August, and we're going to take a quick look in the garden. It's a couple days past since I did the orchard because it rained all yesterday and didn't get a chance to come out. But that is kind of the overview. We have a lot of growth on the tomatoes on the outside walls here, as well as the ones in there, and all kinds of stuff. So our first box here is the volunteer tomatoes. They have grown into one basically tomato wall here, big mass, and you can see we've got lots and lots and lots of tomatoes coming on. Lots of little flowers here, lots of little ones here. I'm guessing these are some sort of a cherry type, I'm not sure, but they're clustering in little small fruits. Here are bigger fruits that have kind of the ribs on them. Once again, these are all volunteer, so I have really no idea exactly what to expect out of them. Here's some more there, all over the place. And then this is our first box of ones that started from seedling, transplanted outside 2 months ago. It was 2 months ago this weekend. So 60 days in the ground, and they went from 3-4 inches to we're looking at 4.5 feet, almost 5. And all of these have tomatoes on them. Not a lot sometimes. I think this is another one of those. Had 2 different varieties of cherry tomato, so we'll see how they are. This guy here is the Roma. He's the only one that's kind of dwarfed. He's about foot to a foot and a half tall. The rest of those other 4 all planted at the same time, once again, about 4 feet. So anyway, and the same thing over here. That one is the Roma, the one that's all just a foot and a half tall. All the rest are the other ones, and you can see that these guys are taller than those guys there. I did pick the strongest ones to be right here, plus is the best spot because I wanted to make sure that we got some. But yeah, you can kind of see how they are doing better. The other thing I did was I cleaned this out again, put more of these clips up here to get everything up off the ground. No more stuff on the ground, no more stuff hanging down. Pruned it all back a bit. Took me about an hour or so, but got it all done. And then this is our volunteer squash or vining thing. It looks like it's going to be some sort of a melon based upon the little fruit female flower right there. So we'll see what it is, some kind of a fuzzy thing. Could be a honeydew, cantaloupe, I'm not sure. It's a volunteer, so once again, you never know what you're going to get. And then on the back side here, we have our bitter melon. Vine's going really crazy, growing a lot, but I still haven't seen anything. There's the flowers, the female flower with the fruit. Then that would be the male flower there with no fruit on it. But none of the fruits have fertilized, so they've just kind of shriveled up. So we may have to come out here and manually fertilize them because the bees just aren't doing it for some reason. Here's the other volunteer guy, which looks like kind of the same thing, a little fuzzy melon type thing. I don't know if you can quite see it there. There's one there, something like that. So we'll have to just figure that out. This is our first batch of watermelon here. They've come up, no little fruits formed yet, just the female flowers, but it is coming up. See, some of them are getting yellow. Some of them have broken stems down here. I don't know what happened, but their stems are broken off at the bottom, so I don't know that they'll do very well. The cantaloupe is doing excellent. This is, once again, stuff that I had saved the seed from the cantaloupe we had in the spring and just brought it out here and planted it. And there's been a lot of growth, a lot of little female flowers there. Hopefully those will get fertilized and we'll have something going on. And we're just taking them and trying to gently tuck everything onto the fence here so that it stays on there. But you can see it's doing the best as far as all the back row here. And this is the watermelon we started from seed and transplanted. Once again, the exact twin of the behemoth on the south side of the house, which is 8 feet tall, which would be 10 feet tall if I had let it, and 4 feet wide, and already produced 2 melons. The first one I just picked a couple days ago. The other one fell off last night in the windstorm. So the first one was over 8 pounds. Here we have a female fruit, but nothing fertilized as of yet. Once again, we might need to come and help that along because if it's not going to be very big, we might want to increase our chance of survival. The butternut squash, this guy's not looking too hot. Here, this one has some yellowing leaves, but didn't see any squash bugs on it since the first time that I found them. So just going through, and this was doing well. We have what may be our first fruit forming. Not sure exactly how big the female flowers are on this ones, but it is there, and we'll see. And so once again, I've just been coming along and tucking this guy back up in there, try and help it to grow in the fence there and kind of stay there up off of the ground. So, and then on the back side, the beans have not done very much. You can see that they're kind of blooming or blossoming or something. I really don't know. These are these Chinese long beans. We'll just have to see. The scarlet runner beans have put out scarlet flowers again, but still no beans. So we'll see how they do. They do not like the heat, but we'll see. They are growing again. This guy's growing too, so we'll see how it goes. And then a whole bunch of tomatoes, and we have a whole bunch of tomatoes. This one here is the Amish paste. It's got some good ones coming on there. I don't think we've harvested any off of it yet. That was one we bought at the store. The rest were all seedlings that were planted out. Very small, but now they're all getting, once again, 4 feet or so. Cherry tomatoes there. Lots and lots of them. So you will definitely see that, won't be long before we'll be inundated with tomatoes. Unfortunately, couldn't get like a little now and a little later, but we'll make it work. These 4 are the Romas here. We've picked some of the ones that are kind of like this guy right here on the end, a little orangish color. Tastes good, but we haven't actually let them go all the way yellow or red yet, but there are tons of them. You can see them there on the bottom. I cleaned it up. We just had a big rainstorm, a lot of rain yesterday, and then a lot of wind, so the plants have kind of fallen over. But anyway, they're doing well. I pruned some of them back. You can see lots of fruit down there. And then these are, let's see, we've got 2 of the Amish paste that we bought, and I don't really see a lot of fruit on them yet. And then one of the last seedling ones transplanted, and I can't remember the variety. It has a lot too of flowers, but no fruit yet. So it's just kind of weird how it works. The ones on the fence on the perimeter have done great, and these ones haven't done so hot. So it might be this. Well, these have done well, but I don't know. Trying to figure it all out. There's a giant eggplant, Black Beauty. Might need to pick that after this is done. But over here we have potato, basil, oh yeah, there are some of our, hopefully gonna make it, red bell peppers. There's 3 of them on there, 2 of them on there, or 3 of them on there. We picked one of them off. It had the little lesion on it, just got rid of it. Sunburst is doing great. The 2 Black Beauties over here are doing wonderful. Sunburst, have been pruning it back a bit to get rid of some of the excess stuff, and there's a few fruits down there. We've been getting a good amount of fruit off of it. Corn's popping up here. Just planted a few weeks ago, so it's coming up there, doing pretty good. There's the corn you can see over there outside the garden. Planted a couple months ago. It actually has ears. Each stalk has 1 ear. Let's have to see how fat they get and how it develops. But the other eggplant here doing well, producing a pretty good amount of fruit so far. That's very good. The zucchinis have had a hard run. So there was 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. That was the little guy. These guys were the monsters, and this guy was doing pretty good too. This guy right here died maybe a week or 2 ago. I just came out one day, or Saturday, and he was gone, even though we just looked at him, and just completely wilted. And unfortunately, you can see that kind of what it looked like, because it kind of looks like that, and that's what happens on the end one there. And so I had came out here on a Saturday morning, checked all these for bugs, did all this stuff, looked perfectly healthy. Sunday afternoon came out, it looks like this. So it's very fast when it happens, and I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the squash bugs, but for that many squash bugs, or for that to happen, I would expect an army of squash bugs. And I did not find any this weekend, but 1 or 2. So anyway, I don't know what's going on there. We'll have to see. And you can see this guy, there's a few leaves left, so I left the leaves that were okay and took the rest, and we'll see if it can come back. I always say if it has 2 leaves, it's got a chance, so we'll just have to see there. The beans here, we have our purple string beans, or whatever, I guess purple green beans. They're doing pretty well. Got some of them. Actually, haven't got too many of the purple ones. Got some of the green ones here. You can see right there. Doing good. Some of the ones over next to the house too. Have put out a lot. Okra here. There's some right there. Lots of basil, and the green leafy stuff still kicking pretty good. It's pretty amazing. The lettuce just started to put off some little flowers, but being the beginning of August, it's pretty amazing. Chard's still doing great. Cut some of it back, made a stir fry the other day. Same thing with the kale, still going. We've definitely, if you watched us last year, the videos, you'd know that this stuff, when we planted them last year over there, we had 4 plants and each one was about 4 feet tall. We let the leaves just grow and grow and grow, and they will become little trees and be monsters. But we kept them trimmed a lot this year, picking around the outside, as you can tell, and that's made a huge difference with keeping them under control and keeping them manageable, because the leaves, when they're that big, they're not very tasty and tough, and we had a lot of problems with aphids too. So things have worked out well this year. Got some carrots going on there. Had some of those in the stir fry too. Good. Some onions. The stuff's still kicking. I expected it to be gone and toast by now, but I don't know how much longer the salad lettuce here is going to be going, but while it's going, we'll get some. So anyway, tomatoes doing fantastic, amazing. Squash still coming on. The zucchinis are slowing down, plus the big trimming that they got to kind of make it easier. I did kind of rig up a temporary spike or post for them, just to kind of get them up off there. That's something that I saw online to try and do, to stake them and get them up off the ground. That way it's easier to see the fruit. You don't have the giant ones hanging out there, missing them. Plus, it's much easier to inspect that plant for bugs than when it's sprawling on the ground. You gotta, like that one, that takes forever to try and look through all the leaves and look for all the bugs. Or when they're up like this, it's very easy to do. Unfortunately, even though if it's easy to do, still they can hide on you and still things can happen. But you can only do what you can do, and that's why it's always good to plant extra. So we end up with 4 zucchini plants, and we've got 1 toast, 1 on its way out, but we still got 2 more. So anyway, you do what you can, and that's all there is to it. So anyway, that's been the garden this week, and it's been a fantastic week. I'm sure next time we come, we'll be getting a lot more tomatoes, and not too long we'll be overrun with tomatoes. So anyway, that's all we got for this week.